Before we begin, take 1 second, breathe. And if you respect history, real money, and the quiet power of old coins, subscribe now. This channel is for men who understand that value is not always loud, and wealth is not always obvious. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and felt that strange weight? Not just the metal, but the time behind it? A coin that has passed through the fingers of workers, soldiers, fathers, businessmen, men who never made the news but built the world anyway. Today's story is about one such coin. A small coin. A forgotten coin. A coin that most people would toss into a drawer and never think about again. The South Africa 20-cent coin from 1982 to at first glance, it looks ordinary. No shine that screams luxury. No gold glow that makes people stop and stare. Just a working man's coin from a working man's country during a hard and complicated time. And that is exactly why you should pay attention. 1982 was not a soft year. The world was tense. Economies were shifting. South Africa itself was standing at a crossroads of pressure, change, and resistance. This coin was born into that moment. It circulated through shops, markets, bus fares, and everyday transactions while history was unfolding quietly in the background. It didn't sit in a museum. It lived. Men used this coin without thinking. Paid for bread, paid for tea, paid for tools. It was pocket money, lunch money, change at the end of the day. But coins like this absorb stories. Every scratch, every worn edge, every softened detail is a fingerprint of time. This is not a coin for collectors who chase shine. This is a coin for men who respect endurance. The design itself speaks without shouting. Strong, clean, functional. No unnecessary decoration. It reflects the mindset of its era. This was not made to impress. It was made to last. The metal composition was chosen for durability, not beauty. And that alone tells you something important. When a country designs money to survive years of circulation, it expects its people to work hard and keep moving forward. Now here's where the story deepens. Many people believe value comes only from rarity or precious metal. That's a beginner's mistake. True value is a combination of survival, context, and demand. The 1982 South Africa 20-cent coin survived a period of economic pressure, political tension, and global change. Millions were used, yes, but very few were preserved. Most were spent, lost, damaged, or melted away by time. Think about that. Survival is not guaranteed. Just like men who lived through that era, only a fraction remained strong, intact, and remembered. This coin also represents a monetary system that no longer exists in the same way. Currency reforms, inflation, and modernization pushed coins like this out of daily life. When a coin stops being useful, it either disappears or becomes history. And history, when rediscovered, creates demand. Collectors today are not just young hobbyists. Many are men over 40, over 50, even over 60. Men who now have time. Men who now have patience. Men who want to reconnect with tangible history instead of digital numbers on a screen. They don't want noise. They want something real, something they can hold. This coin speaks directly to that mindset. It is small enough to be overlooked and strong enough to survive decades. That combination is dangerous in the best way, because when attention finally turns toward it, prices don't rise slowly. They jump. Another thing most people miss is condition. A 1982 20-cent coin that is heavily worn is common, but one that has sharp detail, clean surfaces, and no serious damage becomes a different animal. That is where collectors lean forward. That is where quiet competition begins. Two men, same memory, same year, same coin. Only one gets it. And let me be clear, this is not a fantasy story. This is not hype. This is how numismatic value works in the real world. Coins tied to transitional periods, coins that were once ignored, coins that represent everyday life instead of royalty, often gain respect later. Because they feel honest. When you hold this coin, you are not holding wealth created by status. You are holding wealth created by time. So if you have one of these coins, or if you've seen one and never gave it a second look, remember this. History doesn't announce itself. It waits for someone mature enough to recognize it, and we are not done yet. Because the real surprise is not the story. It's what the market has quietly decided this coin is worth today. Because now we move from history into psychology. This is the part most people never understand. And this is exactly why they miss opportunity after opportunity. Coins don't gain value only because they are old. Plenty of old things are worthless. What gives a coin power is when the story lines up with the mindset of the people who are now in control of money. And today, that mindset belongs mostly to men between 35 and 65, men who have lived long enough to stop chasing noise. Men who have made mistakes, learned lessons, lost, and rebuilt. Men who understand that real value is quiet, solid, and patient. This coin fits that mentality perfectly. The 1982 South Africa 20-cent coin comes from an era when money meant something physical. You worked, you earned, you held it in your hand. No apps, no screens, no digital promises, just metal and trust. That matters deeply to men who grew up before everything became virtual. There is also something else. Nostalgia, but not the soft kind. This is hard nostalgia. The kind tied to responsibility. Early mornings, long shifts, providing for family. Coins like this were part of daily survival. That emotional connection creates demand that charts and numbers can't explain. Collectors today don't always talk about this openly, but it drives the market. A man will pay more for a coin that reminds him of who he was or who his father was than for a shiny object with no soul. And here's the detail that sharp collectors notice. 1982 was not a random year. It sits in the middle of economic strain and political pressure in South Africa. Currency from these years represents stability under stress. That symbolism matters, especially today when many people feel uncertainty again. Now let's talk about scarcity, the real kind. Not fake internet scarcity. Survival scarcity. Millions of these coins were minted, yes. But think carefully. How many survived in strong condition? How many were saved intentionally? Almost none. People didn't collect 20-cent coins in 1982. They spent them. They wore them down. They damaged them. They forgot them. That means the supply of high-quality examples is far smaller than people assume. And supply doesn't need to be tiny to create value. It just needs to be smaller than demand. And demand is quietly growing. Another factor most people ignore is accessibility. This coin is affordable enough to